Namaste and welcome to this gentle Hatha yoga flow for happy hips. Today I've chosen to pad my mat with a blanket. You might choose to do the same or you might not, it's your choice. But when you're ready, I invite you to come down to the ground and find a comfortable seat. Inviting you to sit up tall, finding length in your spine, grounding your seat bones, perhaps lifting the shoulders to your ears and then grounding them down, snuggling the shoulder blades behind your heart space. You might like to do that a couple more times, or you might like to settle into some stillness. So when you're ready, closing your eyes to help you land on your mat and in your body. I invite you to take 3 breaths with me. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling out of your mouth. Wonderful, we'll do that twice more. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Let's make this next breath the deepest breath that you've taken all day. Allow it to fill up your lungs, your entire being. When you're ready, you might give a sigh, letting everything go. And taking this grounding as an opportunity to thank yourself for showing up. Sometimes the hardest part is getting here, but you did it. I invite you now to blink open your eyes and we'll begin with a seated warm-up. So you bring your left leg out to the side and fold your right foot to somewhere on the inside of your left leg. We'll bring our left hand to the calf or the thigh of the right leg. We'll inhale to sweep the right arm up as we lean over to our left. And as you exhale, we're going to bring our right hand down and behind us as we look over our right shoulder, coming into a twist. We'll do that twice more. Inhale to release the twist, so you're gazing forward, lifting your right arm as you lean over to the left. And then exhaling, coming back into your twist, right hand to the mat, looking over your right shoulder. Last time, inhale to turn the body and gaze forward, leaning over to your left. And then exhale, coming into your twist. The right hand might move to the left knee, left hand, right knee, looking over your right shoulder. Wonderful. On your next inhale, we'll release the twist. Then swapping sides, so right leg comes out to the side and left foot comes in. Right hand somewhere on your left leg. We'll inhale the left arm to the sky as we lean over to our right. And as you exhale, twist. So left hand coming to the blanket or the mat, looking over your left shoulder. Twice more, inhale to release the twist, turning the body and gaze forward as you lean over to your right. And then exhale, coming back into your twist. Last time, inhale, release the twist, coming into that side stretch. And exhale, twisting, holding here. Take one more round of breath here. Inhaling lots of love in and exhaling lots of love out. Wonderful. We'll release the twist. We'll bring the soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana, or butterfly. So I like to give myself some space between my hips and my feet so that as I come into my forward fold, it feels a bit more accessible for me. And I bring my hands above my ankles as I sit up nice and tall. I inhale to find length Then as I exhale, bend my elbows, send my heart space forward as though gazing down into a pond. I'll inhale to straighten my body, lift the chest, the heart, and exhale, navel drawing in and up slightly as I fold forward. Let's do that one last time with your breath. So as you inhale, you rise up, find length, tuck the chin. And then on this exhale, as we lean forward, we'll hold here. So you might keep your hands where they are. You might bring the hands to interlace around the toes. And you might like the straighter, long spine with the heart space coming forward. Or you might like to soften and round, bringing the chin towards the chest, feeling broad across the back of the shoulder blades. Take one more round of breath here. And as you inhale, we'll slowly rise up, bring that hands to the outside of the knees. We'll bring the knees together, coming up onto all fours. Marjorie Asana, cat and cow. So knees are beneath my hips, my wrists beneath my shoulders. As I inhale, I'll lower the belly and lift the gaze. And exhale to tuck the tailbone, push the ground away, chin towards chest. Twice more inhale from the tailbone, the belly dips, the gaze lifts broad across the heart space. And then exhale, pushing the ground away, back of the heart to the sky. We'll do that one more time. Inhaling into our cow. And exhaling, Marjorie Asana, cat. We'll inhale back to our neutral spine, tabletop position. We will send our right leg out to the side. And we'll begin to rock back and forth, feeling the stretch to the inside of your right leg. We'll find some stillness with the shoulders above the wrists. We'll go ahead, we'll bend our right knee, turn the toes so they're facing towards the short edge of your mat. And we'll lift up into a kneeling warrior. We'll bring our arms out to shoulder level, looking beyond your right fingertips, and we'll sink the right knee forward, bringing the hips down. You might want to give yourself some space, moving the right toes forward. From here, we'll come into our dancing warrior sequence. So as we inhale, we'll flip the right hand, lift the right fingertips to the sky, left hand to the thigh, or back of the hand to the lower back. And then as we exhale, we'll bring our right hand or forearm to the thigh, so left arm sweeps up and over, coming into a side stretch. We'll inhale to reverse our warrior. And exhale, right forearm to the thigh, left fingertips up as their left bicep comes towards the ear. We'll do that one more time. Inhaling and exhale, holding here. And you do have the option to bring your right hand down to the mat. You might be on your fingertips, you might use your block, or you might like to stay where you are. Another option is to lift the gaze towards the top hand, bringing the back of the heart backwards as you bring the right ribs forward. On your next inhale, we'll come back to our kneeling Virabhadrasana 2. Take a breath in here. And then as you exhale, we'll come back to all fours and take any movement or stillness that feels good here. So you might come back into your cat and cow. You might bump the hips from side to side. You might make some circles with your hips, rocking back and forth and side to side. Or you might sink your hips back and come into a child's pose. Whichever choice you've taken, you have one more round of breath there. We'll come back to meet into our tabletop. This time sending our left leg out to the side, rocking back and forth to begin with. Back toes of the right foot could be tucked or untucked, whichever you prefer. And then we'll go ahead and find some stillness, shoulders above the wrists, as we turn our left toes towards the top of the mat, bending our left knee, coming up off of the hands, arms out to the sides, sinking your hips down as we come into Virabhadrasana 2, pinkies back. Flipping the left palm. As we inhale, we reach the fingertips forward and up, right hand to the lower back or the thigh. And exhale, cartwheeling the hands, left hand or forearm to the thigh as the right arm sweeps up and over, bicep towards the ear. We'll do that a couple more times. As we inhale, we come into our reverse kneeling warrior. And exhale, Utthita Parsvakonasana, extended side angle. Flowing one last time. And then on this exhale, we'll hold here. So again, you have the option to use a block, support your left hand. It might be quite comfortable on your side. Option to gaze up towards your top hand. Right shoulder back, left ribs forward if you have the space. On your next inhale, we'll come back to Virabhadrasana 2. Take a breath in and exhale to release, coming back onto all fours, taking any movement or stillness that feels good here. So again, cat and cow, rocking hips from side to side, or taking a child's pose. We have one more round of breath here, whichever you've chosen. And then we'll inhale back to tabletop if you're not already there. And exhale to tuck the toes and lift the hips, downward facing dog. And as it's our first downward facing dog, I'm not going to do many of these today, but you might like to pedal out through the heels, bending and straightening, alternating the legs. You might bend both knees generously and then straighten both legs. Or you might quite like the stillness. Whichever option you've chosen, your head and neck is relaxing between your upper arms. Your heart space is drawing towards your thighs. Finding stillness if you're not already there. On your next inhale, we'll bring the knees back to the mat, dipping the belly, lifting the gaze, and exhale, sinking the hips back, forehead to the earth for Balasana, child's pose, a cycle of breath here. Your next inhale brings you back to all fours, lowering the belly, lifting the gaze, and exhale to tuck the toes and lift the hips, downward facing dog. Holding here for a round of breath. Inhaling, the knees back to the mat, lowering the belly, lifting the gaze. Exhale to untuck the toes, send the hips back, child's pose. On your next inhale, we'll come back to all fours, lowering the belly, lifting the gaze. Exhale to tuck the toes and lift the hips, downward facing dog. From here, we're going to send the weight into our left foot so that our right foot can reach back and up as if it's coming towards the sky, but bring the hips level with each other. And as you exhale, you're going to bend the knee so the heel's coming towards your bottom. Shift forward, pushing the ground away, bringing your right knee to the right wrist. Right shin comes to the mat, sending the left foot back as we come into pigeon. You might stay upright for your pigeon, pushing the ground away. You might walk the hands in a little bit. You can of course use a block or a prop to cushion your right hip. If you like to, you might come down onto your forearms. The hands might be in line with the elbows, or you might clasp the fingers together. And your right foot might be tucked in towards your groin, or it might walk away from your body. Take one more round of breath here. If you're on your forearms, we'll bring the hands back to the mat. We'll tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and send our right foot next to the left as we lift our hips, returning to our downward facing dog. Noticing the difference in your right hip and right leg versus your left hip and left leg. And now we will even out the sides. So allowing the right heel to feel heavy, lifting the left leg towards the sky. And then as you exhale, bring in your left heel towards your bottom, and then pushing the ground away, bring in your left knee to your left wrist, walking your back foot back, and feeling that external rotation in your left hip this time. Feeling a big stretch to the outside of your quadricep and hip flexor of your right leg. You can come down onto your elbows. Really bring the breath here. Perhaps sending your breath to any areas that might feel tight, like you're gripping or holding. See if you can soften. Take one more round of breath here. And if your forearms are on the mat, we'll press back up onto the hands. Then from here, we're going to sit onto our left hip so that we can bring our right leg around. And come to lay on our back. I'm going to turn so I don't bang into the Christmas tree. Once you are on your back, snuggle the heart and the shoulder blades behind the heart space. We'll bring our knees into our chest and catch our knees with our hands. As you inhale, we lift the feet to the sky as we straighten the legs. The arms go overhead so the backs of the hands are on the mat. And as you exhale, knees coming back in towards the chest, holding your knees with your hands, back of the head stays on the mat. We'll do that twice more. Inhale, finding length in your limbs, straight arms, straight length, soft bend if you need to. And exhale, navel drawing in as you hug your knees in at your chest. We'll do that one more time, inhaling, finding a capital L shape with the body. And then on this exhale, we'll hold our Pavana a wind relieving pose. It might feel nice to have your knees together, or you might prefer to drop your knees away from one another. It might feel better in your hips. It also gives you more space to breathe. From here, you might like a rock from side to side in your wind relieving pose, or you might like to come into a happy baby. So for happy baby, you'll bring your knees apart, soles of the feet to the sky, so the knees are bent. You can bring your peace fingers around your big toes. You might hold your ankles here instead, and you might enjoy the stillness, or you might enjoy some movement. Either way, the soles of the feet are facing the ceiling. We'll take one more round of breath here. Let's bring our knees back in towards our chest with our knees together. We'll bring the arms out to the side. You might bring them out to a T if you've got the space, or if you're like me and next to a wall, you might cactus the elbows here. We'll take a breath in. And as you exhale, we'll lower our knees to the right side. Coming into a twist. And you might turn your gaze towards your left arm. If you feel lightheaded and dizzy, bring the gaze back to center. You might like to bring your right hand to hold the legs. This is our final pose before our guided relaxation. On your next inhale, we'll bring the knees back to center so the back lays flat on the mat. And then as you exhale, we'll bring the knees to the left this time. Option to turn your gaze towards your right hand. You might bring your left hand to hold the outside of your right thigh. And on your next inhale, bringing your back flat to the mat. We'll bring the arms in and we'll either bring the soles of the feet to the mat if that's your preference for Shavasana, or you can send your legs out straight down the mat. If you wanted to use a pillow beneath your head or your knees, then feel free to do so. You might take your blanket out from beneath you and cover yourself over. When you're ready, allow your eyes to close. Allow your body to soften and melt into the surface beneath you. Allow all 10 toes and your feet to rest. Your legs to rest. And your hips to feel heavy. Allow your fingers and hands to rest. Arms to rest. Your shoulders to drop and soften away from your ears. Lower back, middle back and upper back. Feeling supported by the earth beneath you. Head resting sweetly. Softening the skin of the face. And letting go of any tension, gripping or holding in your chest and belly. Allow these areas to feel soft. Perhaps noticing the gentle rising and falling of your chest and belly as you breathe. And now I'm going to go ahead and end our practice today, but you can stay here for as long as you need and like. But for now, I'm bringing my hands together, my thumbs resting at my third eye. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.